jungling the entire game while I'm getting ran at by 4 heroes.
You're not,
and
they're
there's-
being very specific.
Yeah, this happens a lot.
Picks are going to be, the teams are getting ready for the draft. It's nice to be with you gentlemen in the Rotunda.
I'm glad you're pronouncing it properly. Glad we could work that out.
I was saying it right the entire time.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
5 minutes. It's enough.
Speaking of 5, this would be the worst transition of my entire life. But let's actually take a look at what has already transpired here in our draft. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, but that big beefy chonker over there looks like a Doom to me.
Yeah, Doom picked up by Alliance. I wouldn't be surprised if they snatched that Phoenix up as well for themselves. Magnus and Broodmother banned out by them, and 5-man banning out the Venom and the Void. That's it. Picking up the Venge, yeah, nothing really too extraordinary. Whenever you're thinking about Alliance, I think that's what 5-man tried in that first game as well. You snatch the Phoenix away from them, because they're looking much, much stronger with it. Or you ban it at least. Actually, Roxir is top tier, just as Phoenix.
Yeah, I got a feel for Misery though in that last game. He played phenomenally. He was so farmed, like 25-minute hex, and then he has to watch his team lose that game. And really, credit to Alliance for holding on, but that felt like 5 men losing a lot more than it was them winning, and that is a very, Early Arc Warden.
Damn, yeah, that's a very early Arc Warden. Now, I have seen the Venge Arc Warden combo, which is pretty solid. You can save him from any aggression early on, plus he benefits from your aura quite a lot, plus the talents, the attack range is ridiculous. But you are playing versus Darkseer already, so that's one way of reaching and getting on top of that Arc Warden. And it's picked so early. Yeah, you ban the Spectre and Void, but there are other heroes that deal with him just as well.
They also haven't played Arc Warden yet, like, in their professional career. I'm sure the individual has. I'm sure Ace played, don't get me wrong, but they've yet to play it as a team.
We saw some early arcs in this tournament.
Yeah.
Didn't go well at all. How do you guys feel about seeing it in a first phase? I don't even think it was first phase. It was still felt too early.
Yesterday it was.
Yesterday it was
by
good.
Enigma, and Miracle just like... They tri-laned with it, he got 4 kills, ended up having like $1 billion net worth, they won the game. So, and they also had Avenge, so it's quite possible 5 men are trying to threaten an aggro tri-lane here. It's tough to deal with that as Alliance, because you've already revealed Doom Darkseer. Neither one of these heroes wants to play in the tri-lane.
There's a lot to talk about Arc Warden right now and why the hero should work, because he has been buffed up a little bit, not only by Midas, but by the talents changes. And you could see even in the closed qualifiers, some teams would try. Then you would see in the Divine, some teams would open up twice with Arc Warden, if you remember that Tempo series.
That was what I was referencing.
Yeah, but it would get countered. Now, the thing is, Tier 1 teams, they put some more effort into devising a strategy that's picked in the first stage, and then they just make it work. Even though Arc Warden is a difficult hero to play with.
Yeah, I think for multiple reasons with my Papija take, it seems like he slots into the meta for multiple reasons, just with how you want to be winning games right now. So it does make sense that it's something teams are going to be experimenting with, but whether or not you can actually get it in the first phase nice and comfortable, I think is going to be something that's exciting to see not only in this game, but as we move forward throughout the entirety of this.
For good right now, especially with all the other metas, like Drow.
Like Drow, exactly. You don't have you have Drow, you draft the Underlord pick, because there's a huge chance that Alliance opt to go for one of the Illusions hero next, right? And the Underlord usually does well against them.
10 seconds.
And Rubik Underlord is a very good lane versus any of those heroes, even if Jakiro is supporting them. The hero that usually comes to your mind if you're thinking about heroes that deal with Arc Warden right now, it's PL, perhaps. It's one of the best ones. However, he also did fall a little bit out of the meta. The power spikes might benefit Arc Warden when it comes to that matchup a little bit more, even though Arc Warden power spikes are really weird.
There's no option for an offensive purge right now, so I'd like to see Alliance maybe look to go for an Ember Spirit. It's at least got to be a threat. Void Spirit's also a possibility. Also to note, this is, I think they probably touched on in the last game, but it's Limp versus Chessie mid. I think it's really cool to see two brothers at this level of Dota playing against each other. I've also played both of them for 3 or 4 years in my life, so I know them pretty well, and they know each other even better. That we picked up. A lot of these teams, this whole draft feels very inspired by Enigma yesterday, because they ran this exact same 3 support duo, Avenge, Rubik, and with Underlord, but they had a Medusa instead of the Arc Warden, and they had a Bat, whereas now the Bat goes towards Alliance. Makes sense because it doesn't. I guess it's mid-bat.
It should be mid-bat, but I have to say one thing, that if you put Arc Warden
seconds remaining.
Charges. But it is bad favorite, like most mid matchups. I'm just saying that it can be played. That's all.
We saw yesterday they put Chessie on Puck against the Weehaw Bat Rider. Certain that is
Yeah, that's not for the lane. You
not
don't
go well.
Maybe a storm would be alright, but Puck definitely isn't the thing. They don't really have a lot of cash, like Doom. You don't really care that much if you're Storm. Like he can do me, but he needs to get to you first. And besides that, what do you have? Lasso and Ice Bat.
Dire team pick.
Or you
That
disagree
last
with
pick.
that?
Okay, so they go for a melee hero. It makes sense. It's also a really old school alliance combo, you know, like especially with the return of S4. As we see him constantly grabbing Darkseer for himself, a lot of emphasis on Bat Rider as well. But now the Sven, you got that vac into stun combination potential, and your AoE team fight's just kind of nuts right now. Like going 5-on-5 for 5 men would be very difficult, and their last pick effectively has to be mid. And I just don't know what's in Chessie's hero pool that's going to be a real game changer for them. You can't go for something defensive like a Dusa. It's just not possible.
With an Arc Warden, you can definitely.
Yeah.
You need a hero that's going to be active, because Arc will be AFK for the majority of the mid game. The thing about Sven here that I find so good in this draft of Alliance, it's the Darkseer, man. He enables any of these melee cores versus the Arc Warden, because you can always surge.
Yeah.
And even if that's not the case, he's gonna buy Aghanims.
Yep.
Yep. He will be able to reach you.
Warcry for that little bit of bonus move speed, comboed with the surge, means you're going like it's just so much value. You're gonna have a super speed Sven just charging at this Rubik Venge Arc Warden, and you're gonna be in some big trouble. And you have so much follow-up stun as well. It's so much easier to play heroes like Jakiro when you've just got 4 heroes that are gonna be going deep for you, and you can just chill, get a nice path up to follow up. And there's no real team fight potential for 5 men here.
But yeah, there's some kiting possibilities coming from the Underlord, but Sven is always a hero that if he gets the right items, Underlord does not feel safe. Like usually you see this Underlord, he's your Uber that can't be killed, he always saves you from team fights. But when you're playing versus Sven, he pops that ulti, he just cleaves through you in a few hits.
Yeah.
So.
The only Chessie hero remaining is they banned out the Quap. Puck is a possibility, but that hero just seems way too weak. There's too much damage output for 5 men. They need something that provides team fight, but I just don't know what that is. Death Prophet is really the only hero I see.
They go with the Puck.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. We have seen this exact situation yesterday in which they pick Puck versus Bat Rider and Bat just trashes him in the mid lane. And yeah, you're fine later on because of the Dream Coil, but
What puts them in this position, though, that last pick feels so bad? Does it go all the way back to first facing the Arc?
Yes, because your first 3 heroes are all susceptible to the same thing, which is just getting ran at. So you put an Underlord to have one body in between, but you're looking at the laning matchups, and you don't like putting anything against a potential bat mid. So you're left with just this Puck.
When it worked yesterday, yesterday was my day off. I slept for 22 hours out of the 24 hours, so I did miss that. What made it work? Because I think it makes a lot of sense to try to replicate some of the stuff that works. So what exactly made it work that
Aggro.
didn't get pulled off here?
Well, we'll see, but they Enigma aggro tri-laned very successfully. I have to imagine 5 men's got the same plans. Underlord is favored in a 1v1 against either Doom or Darkseer, or at least should trade. And in theory, 3 range with all the spell damage they're going to be able to output should dumpster this bottom lane. Mid, in theory, could be even. I just want to make sure Chessie gets involved. He had big problems in his yesterday playing Puck because he just fell behind and then effectively was just Enigma, they bought raindrops, and he was just like, well, what do I do now?
I would love to see them just secure this Arc Warden's lane, because it's early enough to join fights, and then suddenly Sven's area of farming will be slowly constricted. They have some good things too. You have the swap with the Dream Call, right? You have some offensive potential, but for Alliance, as long as their lanes go just alright, as long as they don't lose them, I really like this draft.
It's the towers too, because ultimately if Sven falls behind and Arc and then it's just this Bat Rider that's able to make plays, maybe the Darkseer with the Doom, but ultimately Alliance needs to be even or ahead for their heroes to play the game that they want. So if you're 5 men, it's take that away, and then have your dual combo just sweep the map as your Arc War and Underlord push opposite sides.
So you heard words from our casters as to what we might
prevent it. You might have to. Hero just reigns supreme and
they're still going to be confident on. You know, they're not too concerned. You know, heroes to be held in place whilst the Arc Warden turns up and kills them off.
yeah, I mean they do have a lot of like fun, cute, cheeky plays that they can do, right? Those swaps with the coils. Also, coil is a good way to just make a distance between something, right? They're jumping Arc Warden, puts a coil, they split it up, they can try to like cut it out. Just worried about this hero in general. I've only really seen, I think, Bo3. Right, Bo3 was the one who had this super successful game where he was playing with a Drow Ranger and he just kind of popped off on the puck. Besides that, most pucks for me have been falling very flat-faced.
Particularly against the bat in the mid, you feel that
I mean, in the past you can kind of hit him, but I feel like the new Bat Rider you just kill him. Like you just get this like, flame break or something, you just push him back, and I've seen some very effective flame break usage. I think people have just gotten better at Bat Rider, and I think the hero's just gotten off on the puck. Besides that, most pucks for me have been falling very flat-faced.
particularly against the bat in the mid, you feel that
So, Darkseer, Doom, Jakiro, Batrider, and the Sven. So, I mean, the team fight potential is insane.
Yeah, you got the Sven DS at the end.
Sven, Darkseer, Sven, Jakiro, lots of different ways to utilize that vacuum combo. They are versus Rubik, so we can't see those like Stolen Ice Paths in particular, one of those big ones, and Stolen Dooms. I've been seeing so many Stolen Dooms actually when it is being played versus. So, yeah, we'll see. I think it's an easier to execute lineup on the side of Alliance, and from what I thought last game when they had the harder to execute lineup, they made it work. So, we'll see if Ivan can keep their composure after that last one, because I have to imagine they'd be a little frustrated after that last loss.
Yeah, for sure. But maybe they can draw on the positives of the game one.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, they were doing great. You know, they were cruising the map. They were showing everybody apart from Nico Baby down. So, you know, not as if they're totally out of it. So, you know, that was a game that they did hold, you know, to the advantage for the most part.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this Doom works too, right? I've not been seeing too many support Dooms. Mostly threes. I've seen like a kind of a one, not like a one position Doom, but we saw, at least in the SEA League that we did earlier, we saw that safe lane Doom kind of take over, some mid Doom. So yeah, we'll see how it works. Do finally get.
So hands getting on it, starting off boots.
Yep. Choose to put their lanes. Yep, they're right. Lane Underlords are ready, making his way toward top. All right.
Okay, so as you said, we saw this lane the other day be pretty potent. I mean, looking at what Alliance is gonna be having against it, are these heroes that you see dying to this trial lane?
Yep.
Yep.
Jakiro, very slow hero, gets caught by a lift. At least in the SEA League that we did earlier, we saw that safe lane Doom kind of take over, some mid Doom. So yeah, we'll see how it works. Do finally.
So hands getting on it, starting off boots.
Yep. Choose to put their lanes. Yep, they're right. Lane Underlords are ready, making his way toward top. All right.
Okay, so as you said, we saw this lane the other day be pretty potent. I mean, looking at what Alliance is gonna be having against it, are these heroes that you see dying to this trial lane?
Yep.
Yep.
Jakiro, very slow hero, gets caught by a lift. with the Ion Show to harass. Okay.
Alright, so this tri-lane,
Triple ranged. Oh, Nico Baby's not gonna get much of anything down here.
sure. For it to pay off, it is sort of stopping the Sven farming enough, or do you need to be getting kills with?
They'll naturally get kills when somebody steps out of position. Like, Nico Baby's gonna get greedy, right? He's gonna walk up. They actually choose for interesting skills. Straight up going for those kills. This one not being the case. Lions, maybe they can position themselves decently. I mean, they're actually going to land to push into them here, so they're trying to make sure it doesn't go under tower range here. It will now. And Misery will drag that wave. Hey, they level 2 first. Pretty big. I mean, of course, it is that dual lane, so naturally they will, but 5 men not able to actually go for those early level 1, level 2 kills.
The harassment bringing the two low, but they've both got plenty of tangos and a salve each.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't actually that bad now for Alliance. When you look at top, look what they're getting out of this top lane. As for 11-6, Underlord only 4. Last hits, they actually forced it to get point in the pit of malice early. Straight up going for those kills. This one not being the case.
Anything?
Maybe they can position themselves decently. I mean, they're actually going to land to push into them here, so they're trying to make sure it doesn't go under tower range here. 3-0, just the first 3 waves. It's been dominated by Limp, as we've seen a lot. Level 2 is up on the Venge. FNG knows.
They've got the dragon.
Yeah.
He's coming out with the tips this way.
That's rude. It's a tri-lane. Don't hit by me when you're a tri-lane.
You don't trip when you're in a tri-lane.
Jesse has to go for that quick little silence play there to make sure Limp does not commit when he does use the orb. And yeah, I mean, Limp is really just decimating him in the mid lane. Oh my god.
It's nasty.
Yeah, I mean, we expected it to be bad, but uh-oh, Jesse, 6 stacks, 7 stacks.
So much damage.
He's pushed out of experience range. Oh my god.
That hurts.
Oh god. Oh god, Owen. Oh my god. Oh god, he's got 10 stacks. He's got to try to orb, but I mean, this might be an orb to his death if another sticky does get onto him.
Oh,
He's dead. He is so dead.
Oh, the pain.
That's rude. The range, oh, you missed 2 or 2.5 waves.
no.
Well, mid's over, so no main hero for the side of 5 men. They're gonna need some beauty to happen at the bottom.
They're going to continue to smash this bottom lane. They'll try for FNG. They'll get FNG a second time.
Okay.
This time, Handscam with a response will come over and allow them to find Misery in return.
Misery uses the Fairy Fire to ensure that Nico Baby doesn't get the last hit on the kill. Cute play there. I love the Surge plus Ion Shell into the TP, so he's got that speed. Oh boy, what happens in the mid lane now? Jesse, he's gonna need quite a big recovery here.
That's a tough one.
And runes, runes are gonna be coming out. I mean, Jesse has to. He has to right click Limp. Don't let Limp go to check the runes at all. Limp will only be able to try to contest for it.
Yeah, he should get beaten by an orb.
Yeah, he's not gonna get it. Okay, so all right, relatively, decent something. He's a full level behind, but at least he does ensure that the bottle does not get filled up. Misery also just making sure he TPs mid just in case, because Chetty's probably like, oh god, guys, help me.
One of these. Spark Wraith onto Nico Baby will bring him low.
Oh, the ice armor picked up. Uh-oh. The aggression now might be halted quite significantly. Though they do still have a high amount of magical burst, so it's not going to be as relevant in this lane as we do see sometimes.
And do you think they'll keep the tri-lane like this now, Alliance? Yep. Darkseid's flying top?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's not a great tri-lane still for them. They have a lot of defensive capabilities. If someone does overextend, they can look to kill the Venge or the Rubik for sure. Oh, the battle, toe-to-toe.
Yeah, both getting very low here. That's 4, still got a Fairy Fire to play with.
Whoa. Couple bounty runes.
Radiant are
That's
scanning.
what will be able to fill up his bottle. Shibit not having a bottle though. He's gonna get out sustained. As S4 will be able to fill up his mana and health, and he'll be able to continue laning. Yeah, you even. Look at he's pinging it. He's like, uh oh guys, like he's pinging the wave, and he's like, guys, I actually have to go to base. This Darkseer with this bottle. I don't have regen. So lanes where Alliance are definitely gonna come out pretty far ahead now. That Darkseer and that Bat Rider, and even Sven he's farming.
He's hitting creeps.
He's hitting creeps fine. They've got a good positioning of the lane for the majority of the time, and he's getting his farm. They're actually going to go aggressive here on Ace, and the Rubik is not there right now.
So if they got the damage, and then Infernal Blade comes crashing down on Grace. But he will be saved. Pyre Misery just with the blue.
Not having a bottle, though. He's going to get out sustained. It's the early game. I like this itemization. Look, Nico, baby, though. Just chainmail wand. Knows they're going to throw spells at him, so we get those stick charges built up and then just armor for that Venge. Good approach for him to be able to just farm safely rather than going for something like a breaker, which doesn't give you any, you know, it gives you your damage and your HP, but it's really a lot about just protecting your armor when your war cries down.
No, Midnight Misery, he's come over.
They're trying to go for a kill here when Chessie hits 6.
Okay. It's going to be hard though, as already Limp's just out of the lane. Gonna all the way back to base.
Okay, interesting.
Give the lane to Hansken. I mean, hey, he wasn't even that low. But fancying the walk back.
I guess low enough, he's probably like, I'm still at like threshold, right? That, you know, about that
Sure.
burst damage that comes out.
Still get him.
Oh, okay. Nice positioning here. TP also from Chessie. This should ensure the kill. A lot of one charges actually forces a coil, but he'll get the kill.
Yeah, nice moves from Chessie. He's going to be able to get himself solidly back in the game. I think he can make these sort of ganks after having a rough 1v1 against Limp Mid.
And he's still going to be pretty far behind for sure. Yeah, he needs a couple very successful rotations. We see in the meantime, FNG, of course, he wasn't showing himself down bottom because he's stacking. He's starting to get those stacks prepared because Sven got levels already. That's all Sven really needs in order to go and clear those stacks in this early laning phase. Last up, plus Surge.
They're going to drag him out pretty far. Zibbe, just get the Firestorm out. Limp getting low, but Limp actually playing in onto Pylai Die. Hansken heading over as well as they're thinking about charging in on this. With the Ice Armor, Hansken can. He starts to tank the tower.
Actually forces a coil, but he'll get the kill.
Yeah, nice moves from Chessie. He's going to be able to get himself solidly back in the game. I think he can make these sort of ganks after having a rough 1v1 against Limp Mid.
And he's still going to be pretty far behind for sure. Yeah, he needs a couple very successful rotations. We see in the meantime, FNG, of course, he wasn't showing himself down bottom because he's stacking. He's starting to get those stacks prepared because Sven got levels already. That's all Sven really needs in order to go and clear those stacks in this early laning phase. Last up, plus Surge.
They're going to drag him out pretty far. Zibbe, just get the Firestorm out. Limp getting low, but Limp actually playing in onto Pylai Die. Hansken heading over as well as they're thinking about charging in on this. With the Ice Armor, Hansken can. He starts to tank the tower. He's going to have to use the coil.
To coil.
And Limp definitely being a nuisance with these.
Start getting those neutral items built up as well. Gordon has a bit of a better, but he will recover in the jungle.
Top Zibet, just having a all out of that. The damage from the two of them, bringing them very close as well. There's a powerful lane between S4 and Hansken.
Yep.
Even able to threaten the Underlord. And can burn.
To coil.
And Limp definitely being a nuisance with these.
Start getting those neutral items built up as well. Gordon has having a bit of a better, but he will recover in the jungle.
Top Zibet, just having a all out of that. The damage from the two of them, bringing them very close as well. There's a powerful lane between S4 and Hansken.
Yep.
Even able to threaten the Underlord. And can burn.
Start getting those neutral items built up as well. Gordon has having a bit of a better, but he will recover in the jungle.
Top Zibet, just having a all out of that. The damage from the two of them, bringing them very close as well. There's a powerful lane between S4 and Hansken.
Yep.
Even able to threaten the Underlord.
They won't bench stun. Like Puck, everybody has a significant amount of magical burst control for him. Hoskin, he's tanky, but not tanky enough. Misery says thank you.
I'm Misery's very happy with that. Another kill for my collection.
He's like, I may not need to do this, but
You know, he was sort of like, can I get away with stealing this? Like, yeah, we don't want to leave it up to any chances. That's fine.
that's when you get pinged in pubs, you know, when people are just pinging.
Yeah, people would definitely
They get
picking
so
up
mad.
Rubik.
They get so upset when you do that. But he's almost dead. Look,
Hey,
he's
5-5.
he's owning. Yeah, he definitely.
Yeah, he's
definitely
loving it.
is. We see FNG. I love this pickup from him. We've been seeing this a lot more often from supports. The Veil. Very early Veil pickup for Jakiro, but benefits almost the entirety of his draft. Smoke will be spotted out here by some Spark Wraiths. Wards will go down though. They spot almost everything, Misery. We'll be able to find that D ward. They'll find the sentry, but the Obs ward is a bit of a sneaky one there. Yeah, they're not going to be able to find it, I don't think. So some good information, at least if they do want to play around that mid lane. And they're ready with that search. You see Darkseer right behind the Batrider, ready for a play. With an Ion Shell. Easy kills on pretty much anybody if they are able to. Ion Shell's going again.
Coil out, onto S4, they got damage to take, he's going to pop the mech, wall drop down as well, they get onto this Darkseer. The backup is inbound, Zibe, he's just getting his way out of it, and this time we'll be able to do so. Not enough damage to bring down that Underlord now before he rifts out. Just continued space.
The Obs ward is a bit of a sneaky one there. I think at the same exact time, both of those carries did find that. Oh, a growth bow. Okay. The guys will be happy with that one.
Yes, we're done in straight away.
Yeah, definitely.
Very nice with the Maelstrom procs. Also, 200 gold and Ace. He'll have the bots. And Ace still, as expected with this Midas, as the Arc One, he's keeping himself at the top.
That's
Nico Baby's keeping up with the pace pretty nicely. You know, this Sven is still just within 1k gold behind.
their physical damage is very lackluster, though. I think Nico Baby can really start getting involved with this team when he has this BKB. He can just run right through everything. The Coil, who cares? Pit doesn't matter. He's going to be surged with the BKB running through.
Blinked on for Chessie. So.
Oh my god, Hanskin, look at this. He almost has BKB on the Doom as well.
I mean, him and Misery, you know, this is a game where these two supports.
The four positions.
It's a beautiful game. Misery, he's got his blink dagger.
Almost got the blink. That's going to be really relevant versus, versus Jakiro, versus Sven, even versus Doom. He has so many different spells that he can steal. He's spotted.
He's going to try and run. Chessie is going to drop the coil. Hold him in.
Some team response, though. We see them coming in.
So if they can catch, they're going to put the ghost. Nico Baby search for it. He's charging straight into the trees.
He jumped into it. He hit the laptop. Oh, Chessie.
Did he went in?
Oh, he jumped into it and got hit by the AoE of the stun.
Oh, he thought he could help out. He jumped into his death as he jumped in at the same time as that stun from Nico Baby was flying over.
I think that's quite an effective use of your first BKB.
Yeah.
Four is killed. God Strength used also, and Dire's afraid. Look at this. They're actually scanning the Roche. I'd be expecting Alliance is going to do that, but they don't really have a great Roche hitting lineup yet. Sven needs a little more time. For Chessie. Another time.
Yeah, perfect entrance from Nico Baby to the combat.
Yep.
And he felt confident. You saw it just preemptively just popping that God Strength before he even got anywhere close. Knowing that would be a solid opportunity for him to find those big kills. The big arms coming out from his supporting cores, the Blink Dagger on Limp and the Greaves on S4. So this Sven is going to be heavily enabled in the fights. Lots of ways to control the enemies, allow Nico Baby to do the damage. Yeah. And S4's going to be there with a considerable amount of save.
You know, we talked about how, looking at this five-man lineup, getting ran at with BKBs and Blink, it's going to be hard for them to really react. They at least have the bench swap to kind of break, at least if like a lasso comes out in some situations, if he's in the right spot. As we see Pi, they're kind of baiting Zibe looking for a swap play, because Misery has the Blink too, so they can react. But they have to be prepared for it, because if they're not in the position to instantly stop it, somebody's going to die, and then it's going to lead to a chain sequence of other heroes dying. So, let's see. Will they be able to get the instant grabs once that lasso does go off? That's it.
Trying to run in the ice path and the vacuum. Hoping to catch
Yeah,
him.
and they were prepared. Look
And
at this.
Dream Core's coming in from the back. Godstrip has been popped by Sven and Nico Baby. Going in now with BKB. He's going to turn over towards Zibe, but he's been doomed. The Doom is out upon him.
Still a Doom.
As he's in trouble. He needs help. Are they going to be able to get him back to safety? No, because Pylon Ice swamps him back in deep. As there we go. Misery finding that Doom and dropping it back over onto the Sven. Nico Baby just eliminated from the fight. It's Jesse.
The last.
He's going to try and keep this going. They have the ice buff on them too. Do they have the damage there without their Sven? The magic missiles out onto Lim. Jesse diving in past the tower. The orb bringing them low.
Misery.
And he's got stolen lasso. Oh my goodness, Misery with these ultimates. The Doom, the lasso, he's doing it all. There we go, Misery. I mean, he could kill Steel all he wants if he's going to be able to show plays like that.
And especially
Doom and Lasso in the same fight.
And whoever makes the call to be sitting behind Jibba there, perfectly done. Could not ask for a better dream fight, really. Stolen Lasso, stolen Doom, the vacuum whips. Most beautiful situation there. They don't even have to use a swap in order to save this Underlord.
Yeah, they got to watch out for Misery. They cannot allow him to get these ultimate steals, and two of them in the same fight. Easily done by Misery. At least he's making it look easy. This Rubik popping off.
We see so many Doom stolen now. They really gotta, now he has a Centaur. He has a Centaur creep. He had it before too, but has to be a little bit more careful of how he covers his Doom. Has to probably just use a Doom and then the Stomp immediately after. Or shit. Usually people don't save their Scorch because they're running in, so it can be a little tough in Misery. Really owning, and he still has Lasso. So he had a Blink Lasso for another potential play that they can make. 8 seconds. Still playing around that mid lane. Do they have a smoke? Looks like he's just kind of playing the bait game. Just letting Jibba show himself. Well, the Arc Warden. He's been having, he's chilling. It's just like, oh, thank you team, space making for me. I'll just continue to hit some creeps and push some lanes if you're free.
I'm more than happy to play the farm game. I mean, sure, Sven with the cleave, but you're never going to be able to hit sort of the GPM for the creeps alone compared to this double Midas of the Arc and his temp double.
Especially when he's just sitting back and his team is making all the plays for him. We'll get the Lasso here. They've got the follow-up Stomp. It should be more than enough damage for Pi to go down. I actually used a drum charge there. I thought for sure he was going to die, but wanted to try to get away somehow anyway. That's 4.
It punches him. It's just going to make him a response from Misery. Comes in with the stolen lasso. S4. I think.
I mean, it's appropriate, but he gives 322 gold for that one.
Oh, you couldn't have written it any better. I think that's the last time he goes up. It's just very ambitious there, trying to punch this big old Underlord. It's like,
especially when he's playing versus the stolen lasso. Like,
yeah, you gotta be careful.
Right that close to the tower as well too. Just a bit of a precarious position for to put himself in. Gets punished. Excellent usage, Misery. Just dominating. 5, 2, and 9. Double usages of that lasso. And they're looking for more.
Yep. Now get it.
Easy one.
Down on the bottom.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now this tier 2 tower. More money.
Yep.
More money for 5 men. They're building up a bit of a lead now.
Has fallen.
Puck's getting,
Dire are scared.
approaching that Aghanims too. That protection, in particular for the Arc Warden, to be able to hold down the Sven, hold down these BKB heroes. Hot on Chessie's trail. Can he catch him though? He's zooming. Pops the drum, of course, trying to catch up. Chessie's got Blink up relatively soon, or at least the orb. Still trying, but they can't.
Yeah, much too hard of a chase now. As they come in. Misery is going to go for the lift there. The rest of 5 men smoked up. Ready to fight around it. They'll pick up the bounty rings. BKB delivered for Ace, so he can turn up these fights without the worry of Alliance immediately collapsing on top of it.
I actually like that. I think now he can look to get much more involved, and they can look to actually look to dominate a fight and maybe get like a Roche or something out of it. This is a good item choice here. If you choose to fight with it, which I imagine they will.
We'll swap.
Pi.
He's going to look to start things up on an Eco Baby.
Chain disabled.
He's already down to half HP. Has to put the BKB, turns over the Pi with the God Strength. They will kill him eventually. Maybe not Pi. Step on Ace called out Ace as he felt too confident going in with his BKB, but they've got the answer for that BKB, and Nico Baby, he's running down walls. Looking over towards Misery. Misery trying to juke it out, and the stuns in from Nico Baby. Alliance to find 4. Triple kill for Nico Baby. As that, I mean, as we said, you know, he's got the BKB on Ace. He can turn up to fights, but not like that.
S4 just makes up entirely from what happened earlier. He's like, damn it, I fed it. Now I'm gonna make. Which I imagine they will. Swap. Which I believe from the first attack. Now they get Roche, they're gonna get a big snowball out of this. Look at this Sven's level, almost level 20 now off of all that.
That's pretty crazy, yeah, after that last fight. Oh, huge boost in XP.
This the priority from 54%, I believe it's gonna shift. Picking up. Yeah, a lot of big items. AC now just off of one fight as Nico Baby cleans up significantly.
Jesse's got the axe, so I mean we'll see if that is going to be able to have that extra level of control for Ace to do the damage. But still, as we see, Ace is, even with the BKB, he's got to be careful. If they get the blink on him with the lasso, he's still very vulnerable.
Tries for lip, unable to quite get it there. Yeah, it's still scary. Like we said, Arc Warden versus Batrider, it's gonna happen. They're gonna see some situations where they can find that Arc, even if he does have defensive swaps. Won't quite get the Tempest double there for Nico Baby. But look at this, level 20. The 2 big talents have arrived for that Sven. Minus 5 seconds to close that Dispel. Don't believe there's any really Yules or anything built up this time around, but either way, it's just an amazing pickup. Can pretty much at least like the Mjolnir effect that he puts onto himself and stuff like that. So, you know, there's some few things that he can at least dispel.
It just means, you know, as well that the supporting heroes of the 5-man can't ever get away with buying a Ghost Step. You know, that's not going to save you. You see that talent, you're like, well, okay, that is an item I cannot buy. And as you say, just very hard across the board to save people from being charged upon by the stun.
Looking to fight down here. They have this ward on the cliffs. They actually got to see Pylite die, I believe, for a moment there. Hanskin trying to find him, the drum. He's actually... Nico Baby's like, guys, he's right here. Nico Baby knew, but he's...
he knew exactly the spot that he was going for.
Bounty rune dug up by FNG there. Still, we do see that Arc Warden at the top of that network, but we really start to see how fragile he can be. I believe I saw Paladin Sword in S4's bag.
Yeah, I imagine he's passing over to Nico Baby.
So, Nico Baby, the search.
Alright, he's going to look to farm the double, but the vacuum down at the third of Ace. Over the BKB on his Tempest double, but already a Rubik's down. A Rubik's down attempt is going to be made and will be successful. As he's able to get out. The double doesn't feed away at extra bonus towards Alliance.
It's so tough for them to fight. It's just they collapse on them too fast. I mean, Surge, as we've seen, you know, Dark's king of team fight with Vacuum, but really lately it's been the story of the Surges. Just being able to get on top of heroes so quickly. His Sven is moving 900 movement speed or more when he does have that on him. Plus also an Ion Shell that ramps him up to 2,700 HP. So really starting to see the effect of this Darkseer and this Sven just being able to run at 5 men. The coil, it's Ace.
It's the 2 of them. Nico Baby is going to be snapped. See if they get the vacuum on the Jazibe and Ace. Nico Baby tries to turn, but as the age is gone, they take them down at once. Can they do it a second time? S4 surging out just in time. The right clicks of the Tempest double continue flying. Will finish him off as S4 goes down. Nico Baby on the retreat. The pit, will they catch anybody? Gets on a hands, but he BKBs it off. The rest of them are heavily on the retreat. Misery trying to chase. They should be able to get out of it. Nico Baby TP away. And Hanskin should be okay. Misery's going to blink back up in a second. May still be able to have a go on to Hanskin. They found him with the Yule's they're going to be able to find this too. I think the BKB already being used. Hanskin has no way to escape. So not able to escape this as they chase him down.
Nice re-engage there by Chessie. Knowing God Strength is down, BKBs are on cooldown as well. And yeah, it's coil anyway. So either way, they know that they can make that type of jump opportunity there under the tower. Still keeping this one very close here at the 30-minute mark. 21-19, less than that 1K gold lead.
Got the full MKB for Ace. As for Blink, we've seen already S4 hitting some nice 3-man vacuums now. You've really got to watch out. He's got all the setup.
Coordination gets a lot easier when you get that blink on Darks here too, for everybody.
Yeah.
Respect for Jakiro, they all just have a much easier time setting up their abilities. Oh, Titan Sliver for Nico Baby too. So you got Blessed, Paladin Sworder, Titan Sliver. In this one, I actually could see the value of the Sliver. He's versus Ag's Coil, right?
Oh,
That
the
resist is actually very nice.
Maker.
Yeah, and extra magic resist too. They have a ton of magic damage on 5 men, so every little thing does that up. That'd be the choice he goes for. And he is, at the moment at least. Can they finish off the double this time? They can. 300 with cash money.
Loads of money. Going for that Satanic next as well, so that despite dropping the Paladin Sword for 7, he's still going to have that lifesteal and that incredible amount of strength to fight with. And one of those games, as we're seeing, he doesn't need the axe because of the enabling of the Dark Scene. S4 is going to be the man to get him in with the Surge. He doesn't have any trouble really in kited too heavily.
He definitely can get it eventually later on if he's saving for it.
He can get all these other.
He's looking at what's more important. And really fine, does he? Here he's inside of an ice path. Oh, he does get the quick blink away. Nico Baby. Don't think he'll be able to catch him here. Maybe just he throws out the coil just in case. As S4 is trying to go for that catch there on the side.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now they can push him with this, though.
Yeah.
Alliance is Nico Baby, God Strength, BKB. No Dream Coil to worry about. See what they want to go for in terms of targets. I guess the other lanes are being shoved back pretty hard, so over they'll go.
Still kind of running around looking for a fight. They are feeling that big power spike of themselves right now. So fun things that they can do with the Axe Fan though is he can just jump out of the coil. That's one of the biggest things that I've seen happen a lot of the times. Is he just stuns. He clicks the stun button and flies out. That'll get later on he'll be able to pick that one up, but
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
That's still a very close game. They're just one game in it.
Radiant's
I mean,
top tower
at this
is under
stage,
attack.
you look at the Sven, you look at the Arc Warden. Are either of them in a better place? I mean, sure, Ace has got more farm, but is it enough, to have this 4K sort of difference between it and the Sven, or would Ace have hoped to be further ahead?
Looks like Chessie will get chain locked down, and they do have the damage. He should not be able to blink. Oh, he does. Oh my god, he blinks in the direction he's facing. He's able to get it off. S4, can he find it? He does! S4, he finds him. The blink dagger comes into play. I think ideally they'd want to be more ahead.
You think they're a little concerned with the farm that this Sven has managed to find, especially after running that tri-lane against him at the start, right? Nico Baby fully recovered, and he's got some insane timings.
I think it's scary because he's playing versus these double BKB piercing disables, the Doom as well as Bat Rider, these two heroes. When you're playing just a single kind of core, which this is with an Arc Warden, you're very susceptible to that, right? They just focus everything on Arc Warden at one point in the game, and it's like, oh god. So he's itemizing for it, he's going for the Lincolns again this game. A bit better in this situation because it is that even game, unlike with the last one, they went for the Lincolns, and maybe, I think that Brian, I think they were saying that it was not a great choice because it was too defensive when they were so ahead. This game makes sense because how even it is. And that's pretty much the Satanic done if he doesn't choose to disassemble.
He's gonna have it, Nico Baby.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's
So this
top
fan-
tower has fallen.
Incredibly huge right now. You say Ace, he's got to avoid these lockdown spells. They get the Sven on top of the Arc Warden, and Nico Baby's getting that kill.
Yep. Just a couple of swings and they definitely can. I feel like we've had a lot of even games today, even though it feels like for a lot of people this might be the first series for them, but we did cast a best of 5 earlier. They were kind of close. Ace trying to force reaction, keep doing the split push action in here.
Yeah, bang on even on that net worth. It's just a case of whether you favour the farm of the Arc Warden, or you just worry that these team fights are just going to continuously be too hard for Ace to actually get much done with. We've seen the last few fights that he does try and get involved in. He's sort of as quick as he turns up, he's having to get out of there.
I mean, trying to trying to itemize to protect Ace. Do you see that? Lincoln's finished on Ace, Lincoln's on Puck, Lotus Orb on Underlord. It's really all about getting the peel away for that Arc Warden. And it's also, I mean, Lotus is one of those better options versus even, like, let's say later on when an Axe Fen does come out. It's a kind of a way to counteract it in a way that we have seen utilized a few times.
And then they've got to do this, you know. If Ace isn't able to fight in the team fight, then it's 27,000 net worth down the drain. They have to make sure that Ace can turn up against the 5-man of Alliance and get the job done.
Alliance is ready for the fight, though. With this Satanic finished up, with all the status resist, Nico Baby a lot stronger. And, I mean, they have the 2 big heroes are smoked. Look at that. The Darkseer and the Sven are the only 2 at the moment. They're the ones just looking for that Wombo combo. They will run into Zibe.
Infernal Blade, the construct of Nico Baby comes in from the side, goes in with a stun, but actually stuns the Lotus, so takes the stun back to the face, but he doesn't care, he's still trying to get out to Zibe. Highlight Eye swapping Nico Baby away from the Underlord, bringing him up to the high ground. They're kiting the Sven up pretty decently. Zibe should still fall though, as X4 and Nico Baby are able to
Ace is down. Heroes in the back, though.
This time the space has been there for Ace to get 2 of them. Both
buyback from Liv. He really wants
running back in on
to
this. Nico Baby finds Highlight Eye, Chessie able to get out with the orb.
This illusion of Arc Warden, Nico Baby.
He's falling low. Ace can quite finish him off.
He is! Just with the Tempest double. Oh no, Nico Baby. And S4.
Alright, I mean, that's the kind of fight you're talking about, getting for secured for your Arc Warden, and the way that's done, you know, they're committing onto this Underlord. I mean, Nico Baby starts the fight stunning himself with the Lotus. That slows down a bit of his damage output. Then Pylight dies. Just a nice little swap, you know, he sees that the Nico Baby wants to commit to finish the Zibe kill. He just tears him away from it so that he has to spend additional time running back over towards the Underlord. And that in itself just bought time, as you said, for Ace to just clean up.
Yep, and it took them way too long to be able to chase Zibe, and I think Nico Baby got greedy, right? He held the BKB for quite some time, gets a couple stuns actually reflected onto him, and of course, it's just a great positioning from 5-man. It's the ideal target for them that gets jumped on. The super tanky Underlord in that front line, and Ace playing around Ward Vision, to Avenge on his team with a growth bow, so he has that insane attack range to be able to hit people from a distance.
They just couldn't stop him.
Yep. And now a full Daedalus, so he was punching hard before. Gonna be at an astronomical level now.
25 seconds without Nico Baby, and that last fight, a fight as well that involved 3 buyback from Alliance. They're now 7k down, and they're not going to be able to do anything to stop this Roche. This will be Roshan and the Aegis for Ace. As now 5-men in an incredibly strong position. The Dream Call, out of the 2 of them, they get the control onto S4, trying to surge away. As he runs back again, Pilot swaps in a little close to the rest of the team. Still the rest of the surge lasting long enough for S4 to break away from the team. This time Alliance will manage to get away, nobody left behind.
Nico Baby wanted to show up. Looks like he was kind of pinging, like saying, let's go, like let's try to make a smoke move, but the team was already backed up. They used pretty much everything. Bottom is pushing in. Now we're seeing that Ags queued up on the Sven. Hey, I think he's starting to realize he's getting kited a bit too hard inside of these fights. Speaking of Ags, Misery about to have his finished up in this game already on this Rubik as well. So seeing him steal a lot of different spells, now he can steal even more often, more frequently.
25 hit on Ace as well, so having that 25% life steal, yeah, he's just going to be so hard to kill in these fights. We're seeing already just the way the 5-men's itemized and play around him with the positioning, you know, Pilot Die dragging people around. Ace is just getting these entire fights where he's able to pop off, and they're not being able to get on top of him.
Some defensive ways for them to protect him. Yeah, I mean, he's very, very farmed. 6, 7, 8,000 ahead of that Sven. And yeah, just they're making Nico Baby struggle inside of the fights with all that kiting. So yeah, like we said, the Axe, that's going to be the important one for Alliance for these next few moments. But 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on Aegis, where we do see 5-men trying to stay in this aggressive pose over here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, Alliance as well continuing to stay off the map. No response to that tier 2 going down in defense, but they'll try and get some pressure on this tier 2 bottom. He's bringing the double in.
Cash money.
We'll be able to clean that up. That is going to be
S4 gets it.
some more money indeed for the Darkseer. And this tower will fall, but 5 men there. They're starting to approach the tier 3s. Alliance are going to have to come back.
Huh. Did I see that right? Oh, okay. So he sold the Mask of Madness. He didn't disassemble it for the
No, he still had the Mask.
Yeah, he sold it for the eggs. The eggs is finished though. Lotus Orb.
And that's been lost. Now they come forward as the Sven's been used up in the Nico, baby. He's trying to move it in. Turns over towards Paladai and Ace. He'll bring down the Vengeful Spirit.
He's
going
lined
over
the back.
with the stun. He's able to jump over, but the bleed dodges there.
Misery.
And either away, he'll turn back over towards Ace. They killed the Arc Warden at once. Jesse popping the cheese back up to full HP. They've got to be a little careful now, because they are without Chessie, without Limp and Handscam for 100 seconds. And 5 men know this, they're pushing in. They'll finish the tier 3 tower, they're onto the barracks.
Stolen Ice Pass as well. Misery and exhibit that fight. That Lotus Orb, that play there. Now the jump is coming forward though. Oh, it's actually on a creep. I think they're trying to do a backing play maybe there or something, but I don't know. He's in a lot of trouble now.
He's dead.
He got 100 seconds, he spent his gold.
568 goals short, no back. This should be 5 men closing this one up. And it is GG is called. Ace and his Arc Warden doing it here as the team managed to find the space, and again they built up the items, they made sure that they could get Ace involved in these fights, and they just did it perfectly. The entire team of 5 men just laid out these last few back-to-back fights in a way that made it impossible for Alliance to ever get on top of Ace.
Yeah, and I mean,
managed to find the space, and again they built up the items, they made sure that they could get Ace involved in these fights, and just laid out those last few back-to-back
Just be.
Dire team pick.
The opposite abilities at level 1 as Enigma Trilane did. They went Wave, Bolt, and ultimately just kind of didn't matter. Playing LGD and they just why would we do that? No, they're playing VP. It was just
Dire team pick.
the opposite. Significantly more difficult for Arcboy to team fight against. Okay. Wave, Bolt, and ultimately just kind of didn't matter. And the ability to see you can surge like this does too much damage. Like Darkseer's not really able to approach the engage, whereas Mars is just like, hey, what's up?
Now, I would actually love to see a Blink Dagger from Mars this game.
Yeah, the boxing book.
Yeah, I love Yules as well, but Blink Dagger in this game is pretty solid. The problem is, like, even that Mars Arena is solved by Venge swap. So as long as you have Vengeful in the right
5
position,
seconds remaining.
it will be difficult for them to take out this Arc Warden.
I think it's a bit weird they went ban the Rubik out instead of Venge for that reason.
Right.
Playing LGD and they just